What is going on, guys? Welcome back to part number 14 of our Detroit Tigers True Rebuild. We are in 2024. This is spring training. We went 20-9 in spring training, and this team is gonna get ready to make some big time moves this season. I'm really feeling it. So we got bounced last year in a very successful season, I thought, as a wild card team against the Tampa Bay Rays. We got bounced in the first round. So wild card, we ended up losing that game. But I feel like our team is in a really, really good spot. So if we want to just do a little preview here, we'll do that, and then we'll get into the actual season simulation and see what this team's made of. See what this team is looking like here this season in 2024. So obviously, if you're doing the math here, we're in year 4 of this true rebuild. If you guys are new to the series, what this has come to, and you'll see Mookie Betts here and Chris Sale, and we've made some moves here. But basically what this true rebuild has all been about is not trying to get good too fast, right? Not trying to acquire guys like Mookie Betts in year number 1, trading guys like Casey Mize or Skubal and acquiring a guy like Mookie Betts, right? So all of this and this conglomeration of the team that we've put together here this season in 2024 has been really a slow, realistic style of rebuild. And you guys can see some names here like Teoscar Hernandez, Jeremy Pena has been a player for us for the last couple seasons. Tommy Edman was acquired as a grinder, hustle type of player, a culture guy from St. Louis. Jordan Balazovic, Jorge Bonifacio. We've invested in Bonifacio, hoping that he would turn out, and he has. David Castillo, one of our draft picks from a little while ago. Ray Del Villar, another trading piece that we acquired at the trade deadline in year number 1 from the Chicago Cubs. Brent Rooker, Minnesota Twins player that ends up not getting a whole lot of love in that organization. So you guys can kind of see what we've done here. It's been a lot of moves, probably not recognizable. This team is not recognizable from when we took over in 2020. So there's our pitching staff if you guys need an update here real quick. We acquired Chris Sale in the free agency this season on a 1-year contract, and he pitched really well in spring training. Mike Clevenger was a free agent acquisition last season. Skubal has been great in his progression. Casey Mize has been solid as well. Michael Fulmer all the way pushed down to our number 5 starter. Like crazy. Michael Fulmer at age 30 is our number 5 starter. So Skubal and Mize are starting to get up there a little bit in age, 26, 27. I know in MLB and baseball, right, if your mid-30s are probably when you're going to start seeing some decline here. So I love the fact that Skubal and Mize are starting to enter into their prime. They're starting to end into their prime or begin into their prime, but like, let's face it here, right? They're going to start asking for some more money here eventually, right? So we got Skubal on a 4-year contract all the way up until 2028. So he's going to be 31 years old by the time he's seeking a new deal, which again, we might have some hard things to discuss and hard things to consider there. I'm thinking he's probably going to be at least like a 95, at least with that A potential. He's going to be good. And then Casey Mize, we ended up just re-signing him or renegotiating his contract. And outside of this year, he's going to make $11.4 million per year till 2029. I'm confident that Casey Mize is going to be a good player for us. It's just a matter of, is it going to be this year? Is it going to be next year? Is it going to be in his prime season at 28? The thing about pitchers, you don't want to be too caught up in your pitching staff or investing a high dollar amount in an older guy like 35, 33 years old, 35 years old. That's when some injuries start to happen with your pitching. All right, moving on to relief pitching. Kenyan Middleton was a player we signed in free agency. And if you guys are looking at this bullpen, you're thinking, man, oh man, what's going on here with 72s, right? Well, the big thing here is Balazovic is at the MLB level. He's going to be pushed into a long relief role. David Castillo and Eric Ullman as well, along with Xiao Ching Chang at 75 overall. So you're going to have those guys in the bullpen, along with Josiah Gray and Alex Faedo. So we've got a lot of pitching depth. I love pitching depth. And it's something that actually AJ Hinch was quoted as saying in one of his press conferences yesterday, 12-16. So he actually loves the fact that you can kind of flex some of your starting guys into getting bullpen experience. So I've always held with that mentality. I love that mentality. I think that there's no reason that your relief pitchers need to only have the stamina to go 3 innings, right? You can have a bullpen guy basically be a starting pitcher by trade. Just flex him out, right? So I like that mentality. I like that strategy. It's something that we've been employing here in this true rebuild. Look at closing pitching. We've got Joe Jimenez, Ray Del Villar, Jonah Monroe, Randy Santiago, and Bernardo Sanchez. Look at all these prospects, guys. B potential, B potential. A, B for Joe Jimenez at 29 years old. We've done a really bang-up job with our closing pitchers and just depth in general. And you guys will see that in just a second. But Jake Rogers at an 84, Chadwick Tromp at a 78. Jose Candelario at 83, and I still don't know what we're going to do about first base. I think I'm going to have Candelario play first. He could play third. We'll talk about that in just a moment. We'll see what we do with the actual starting lineup. But Nick Ames at the backup position here. We got a ton of first basemen right now. Actually, this is due to spring training lineup, so my bad. But Tommy Edman here at 84. Harold Castro at the big league level. Paredes, Dahlbeck, Pena, Jose Garcia did really well. 379 batting average in spring training. In 66 at bats, like that's good enough that's a good sample size to be like, dude, you need to be a utility guy on this big league club. But as you guys will notice, our outfield is absolutely stacked, right? Teoscar Hernandez, Brent Rooker can play in the infield a little bit at first. Brian Reynolds, Corey Ray, Riley Green, possibly getting a lot of love there in the comment section, I know. And even in our live stream series, or part of this series, you guys have been saying that you want to see Riley Green get up to the big league club. But look at Mookie Betts, Jorge Bonifacio, Carlos Santos, one of our draft picks. Look at that raw power, man, at 21 years old. He's going to be good. Russell Herrera there at a 74, and then Daryl McKenna. I was really high on Daryl McKenna, and he's a top 50 prospect, but you see his peripheral numbers there at contact and power. Like, you know, he's got a lot of room to grow, and at 23 years old, I'm hoping that comes to fruition, but we'll find out. We'll see. So that is your MLB roster, and let's hope to God that, you know, with all of these major league options left available, like they don't really screw us over as the CPU decides who it's going to move up and move down after the end of spring training. So guys, let's go ahead and get this season simulation started. All right, guys, so we are now in the 2024 regular season, and the CPU, as it always does, it doesn't matter, guys, just to let you know if you're wondering how this game works. Maybe you don't have MLB The Show, maybe you want to have a little verification on why some guys are down here in waiver form, but it doesn't matter if you move guys down in spring training or not. The CPU will always find a way to finagle once you advance, even if you have it set at manual. So you've got the 40-man roster at manual. See up in the upper left-hand corner there. It doesn't matter what you do, the CPU will find a way. If you pull your 40-man roster down, or your MLB roster down to 26 men, it will still find a way to move things around and try to make things happen that you might necessarily not have wanted to have happen once you go into regular season. So that's just a little disclaimer. And we can notice something here. We got Xiao Cheng down in waiver right now. 75 overall, D potential. I don't see anybody taking a chance on Cheng here, so I'm not worried about that. But we do see some movement here with Josiah Gray and Alex Faedo. They're both down at AAA level. They do have one option left. So the deal is, now that they were moved down, they had two options available. Now they have one. If we call them up, and we do have a spot available, you guys will notice 25 at 26. We do have a spot available, but the question is it going to be Josiah Gray or Alex Faedo? And I love that Josiah Gray stepped in a crucial situation in that spring training live stream that we had against the Phillies. But Faedo was really good. And he actually had a pretty good spring training as well. He's 28 years old too, so it's about time, right, that Faedo start to do some things here at the big league level. So that's just something to consider. We weren't really considering any of these relief pitchers to be at the big league level, so I'm not concerned there. So Middleton's still up. Jonah Monroe was actually called up. So he's a 75 overall player, 28 years old. So he's kind of in that same boat as Alex Faedo. So I ended up calling him down, moving him down to get us to 25 and 26, which puts us in a position where we can either use that spot to call up Riley Green, or we can use that spot to call up Faedo. And I'm kind of on the fence with it right now. I think Faedo is more what I'm leaning towards, simply because our outfield is just absolutely stacked and Riley Green's just not going to get any playing time anyway. Looking at first base, Mountcastle down in waivers right now, Nick Ames at waivers. I'm a little worried about these guys at 69, 68 B potential. They could possibly get claimed, but not really hurting me too much because they're a little on the older side, and they're not really, I'm not looking to them to round out the first base position at the major league level, right? Gary McMillan is probably my guy a little bit later on down the line. So if we have to, Brent Rooker can play first. We've got other guys in this team that can play first, so I'm not too worried about it. Harold Castro at a 76 at 30 years old. He's really good against righties at contact level, but again, I feel like this team needs more bullpen, more pitching than it does with our offense, because our offense is really good, and it's just diminishing returns at this point if you call up Harold Castro, right? So you're gonna play him against righties, and that's it, right? That's pretty much all he's going to be used for. But Tommy Edman, Paredes there, and Dahlbeck, the two third basemen on our roster, very close in overall rating. And one guy does a little bit of everything well, and Dahlbeck is more that power hitter, good fielder as far as arm strength goes. But I feel like Paredes is the better player overall. And you know what? The cool thing is about Paredes is that when he was 20 years old, when we started this, we really groomed him. We really wanted to groom him and become the player that he is now, which we're starting to see those returns on Paredes. Hopefully this is the season that he makes that happen. Jeremy Pena, still our starting shortstop. Jose Garcia had a really nice spring, but we're going to move him down. We're going to see how he does in AAA, and we'll see what happens with Jose Garcia. But I'm happy with him, and I think he's going to do great. DJ Peters would have been a guy that I would have moved down. I'm going to be honest with you. I would have moved him down. I would have gotten him off the Major League roster so we could call up Riley Green, but he doesn't have any Major League options available still. And I feel like he's still a solid player for us. You can see the numbers there. He provides a little bit of defense and a little bit more of power with 64 and 61. Not as much as Brent Rooker. Brent Rooker is going to get his time. He's going to see his at-bats. But Teoscar Hernandez is definitely our starter out there in left. But he might even be the DH this season because his fielding is a little on the leaving a little more left to be desired there, right? So center fielders Brian Reynolds, Corey Ray, Daz Cameron, unfortunately a casualty of war here, moving down to AAA and being put on waivers simply because he has no more Major League options. I'm worried about Daz Cameron. I really wanted him to be our center fielder of the future, but it just wasn't panning out. It wasn't panning out. You guys can see some of his statistics here. 216, had a good season in 2022, but only 71 at-bats, right? Gave him a full-time gig in 2021, maybe a little bit too young at that point, hit 205. I don't know. I wanted Daz Cameron to be a staple here in this true rebuild in this series. Maybe we lost faith in him a little bit too early, but we've got our center fielders. We're set there. In right field, we're good there with Betts and Bonifacio. So that is what the Tigers team looks like this season. Again, one more spot, 25 and 26, and I think the move that we are going to make is going to be putting Alex Faedo to the big league roster. And that's going to be our 26 and 26. We still do have some players available to add to this team. You can see in the AA level, we're at 19 of 26, AAA 20 of 26. So I'm just going to take the liberty now and go into free agency and then just sign some guys and get them to that AAA level and AA level to round us out before we actually get in to the actual season simulation. All right, guys, this is going to be our opening day starting lineup. We've got Brian Reynolds. Jamer is actually going to play first base, so I've made the decision that he's going to play first for us this season. Obviously, you don't need the arm strength there at 57 at first, but fielding's pretty solid at an 81. The thing is with fielding in this game, I feel like they need to, in MLB 21, they need to differentiate if a player has good fielding numbers in the infield versus a player having good fielding numbers in the outfield. So a player that can play both infield and outfield, like it doesn't always translate, right? So you got Nick Castellanos, for example. As a Detroit Tigers fan, obviously Nick Castellanos was not very good at third, and he wasn't really good at right field. Maybe he was a little better in the outfield than he was in the infield. You guys kind of get what I'm saying here, but because fielding is kind of, you look at that number as an 81, and you think, well, it doesn't matter where I stick him. I can stick him in the outfield, I can stick him at first or third. Like, they're totally two different positions. That number should fluctuate based on what position that you're putting them at. Perfect example here would be Brent Rooker. He can play first base and right field, right? Fielding is at 69. You see what I'm saying? Like, he can play both, but what position is he better fielding at? That's what I want to know. Infield or outfield. And each position is different. So I feel like that number should fluctuate next season. So a little advice for the MLB community, MLB The Show community. Maybe somebody's watching. I don't know. But hey, might as well throw it out. But this is our starting lineup against righties. You guys can see that Tommy Edman's still playing second base. And Isaac Paredes, I'm going to give him the nod here, at least the initial open going at third base. Bobby Dahlbeck, you know, his power numbers are legit, and that's really hurting me right there to take him out of the lineup. That really hurts. But I feel like Paredes is just a little bit better of a fielder, and he's more rounded with that hitting circle there. You guys can see it, 58, 63, 55, 66. And then you look at Dahlbeck, is all power, right? I'm looking at that 84 power for Bobby Dahlbeck, and that's where he gets his start. So that's where he gets his split time. So he's going to be playing against lefties. I think that that's the smart move. You can't let 84 power be sitting on the bench, in my opinion, right? So that's the starting lineup for your righties and your lefties with the DH. I don't really mess with the no DH. Not that that's turned off or turned on in this series, but I just don't spend a lot of time with it. So, because the CPU probably just changes things anyway. So that's our starting lineup. That's the way that the defensive positioning goes. Let's take a look at who our opening day starter is going to be as far as pitching staff goes. Right now, it's Chris Sale. He is the 91 overall player here, and I feel like that's the best thing to do. You've got his morale really high. He was an 89. Now he's up to a 91. You could get Clevenger here as the ace of the staff. He could go up to an 80, 88. Actually, they changed his photo. I like that. They put him up there in a San Diego uniform. So anyway, you got Casey Mize at an 88, Fulmer at 85. I feel like Chris Sale does give us that option, though. I want to know where Skubal's at. There he is. He doesn't need to be in there. So Balazovic, you need to get out of there. Skubal's actually an 82. He's an 82 right now. I feel like he needs to be the number 3 guy. And Mize should be the 3 guys. Skubal 4, then Fulmer at the 5th. The 82 overall should increase because the way that he was in the offseason was like an 87. So that should probably get a little bit of a bump there. We'll see, though. We'll find out. Looking at the bullpen, we're in a pretty good spot here. Kenyan, Middleton, Del Villar, Faedo at middle relief, Castillo. I'm going to put these guys also at middle relief. We got Ulam in there with 81 stamina. Balazovic with 73 stamina. I'm just going to stick those guys as long relievers. I guess technically you could put David Castillo there with an 83 stamina up there, but I think we'll be okay. We'll be all right. But this is a pretty good bullpen, guys. It's a lot better than it has been in years past. So I'm excited about this season. I think it's going to be a good one, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule. We've got the Kansas City Royals up first, and we got a long homestand from the end of March to early April. And we'll go on a little bit of a road streak there against Kansas City again and the White Sox. So it's a pretty easy opening schedule. Toronto here, 4 games set at home. Then we get an off day on a Monday. Then KC. We go at New York, and things get maybe a little bit tougher here towards the end of April. But I like where we stack up against these teams in the early going and early spring. So let's get right to it, guys. Let's go ahead and simulate the 2024 regular season. We will stop at some points just to kind of do some housework, take a look at the lineup, and possibly change some things around, because we do want to manage this like we're actually managing the team. It's not a full-on sim. You're going to be making moves. You're going to be making changes when seasons are and games are happening, when game conclusions are happening, game results are coming in. So we'll see how this goes. All right, guys, we got the win 8-4. Chris Sale went 8 innings, 8 strikeouts. He had himself a pretty nice opening game here in the D. Brian Reynolds, 1 for 5, 4 RBIs with 1 run. So what does that tell me? Probably hit a grand slam. Unless it, yeah, 4 RBIs. Like, if he hit a bases clearing triple, it'd be 3. It'd be 3 runs. So I think he hit a grand slam there. So we'll take a look and see if he got a home run. But Candelario also went 2 for 5. Betts 0 for 3. Nothing really to worry about there. No strikeouts for Betts. So we put the ball in play. Hernandez 2 for 4 with 1 run and 1 RBI. Ruker actually got the start in left. Did I do that? I think I did that. I think I put him out in left. Well, I mean, Dahlbeck at third. Like I felt like I put Paredes there. Penny at short, 2 for 4 as well, down in the lower half of the order. And then Tommy Edman, 2 for 3 with 2 ribbies and a walk in the number 9 hole. So maybe that's his spot. Maybe that is his spot. And there you go. So Reynolds, 1 hit was a home run. And then Tommy Edman also hit a home run too. So that's good to see. Base running. Dahlbeck got caught stealing. Betts was all right. He got on base, actually. Got a stolen base. And then Chris Sale, there you go. 1-0, baby. 8 Ks. Then Castillo came on in the 9th to close it down. So overall, just a really good win for our Detroit Tigers. Okay, let's move on now to, I want to get to about the middle part of April. So let's go ahead and simulate this live and then go all the way here. So we got a kind of a mixed bag. I'm going to say autofix active roster here. So we'll be all right. But yeah, so really good stretch of games there, guys. Really good stretch of games here. 5-4, 11-3, 5-4. Winning some tight ones. Let's see. Cleveland, I was going to say we split the series here, but we lost the series to Cleveland at home. That's not good. But Kansas City, we split the series early on. Chicago winning that series. Toronto definitely winning that series. So we're 11-6 at the moment. I want to take a quick break here just to see kind of what our guys have done. We can see Chris Sale, 1.13 whip at a 4.3. I will take that. Even though the ERA is a little high, I will take that. The whip is really high for Clevenger, so it's kind of classic Clevenger right now. It might be money not well invested, in my opinion. So Clevenger kind of blowing up a little bit. So he had a good season for us last year at 3.42, 1.13. 241 Ks, but again, you know, he does this at times. You know, see, look at this, 417, 427. He does this at times. Hopefully the rest of the season goes well for him, but you know, I'm tempering expectations. Casey Mize really struggling, guys. 616, 153 in 19 innings. Skubal also kind of feeling some struggle, busting a little bit. Fulmer might be struggling too at a 6.6. I swear to God, your pitching staff just gets absolutely just shelled in MLB The Show. I hope that's something that they fix as well. Like custom prospects or or guys that you draft too, they perform well. They perform well, but guys like in the base game just don't do very well. So Josiah Gray down there at AAA, pitching pretty solid, 2.57. Faedo is actually doing really good, guys. Look at that, 0.9 ERA, a microscopic ERA, along with a really, really good whip. I love to see that. Uleman also doing well. 10 strikeouts, but 10 walks at the same time. 1 for 1 walk to strikeout ratio. I don't like those numbers per se, but I like the fact that he's getting out of some trouble. Kenyan Middleton not even being used, guys, at 1.1. 1 1/3 innings. Got to get him more involved. Ray Del Villar. 2 innings. It's all right. 5 innings for Joe Jimenez, 3.6 and a 0.4. 321 batting average for Jake Rogers. What? Through how many games? 17 games. He has 8 home runs. Holy crap. So Jake Rogers already on pace to hit 30, maybe 40 home runs already. So that's nice to see. So the offense is coming through. Look at Nick Ames and Mountcastle. Those guys cleared waivers. We have nothing to worry about there. But Candelario really benefiting from the move to first base. He's really only got to worry about hitting. It's basically a DH 2.0 at first base. 351. Tommy Edman hitting 262 in that number 9 hole. And then Bobby Dahlbeck at 160 and Paredes at 200. So third base still has been kind of an issue for these Detroit Tigers. Look at Pena, though, guys. 338 batting average. And look at the contact numbers. 60 and 70. That's not going to give you 330, right? So we're going to ride this hot streak for as long as we possibly can. But he's really benefiting down in that bottom of the order with a little bit of protection up in front of him. 254 for Teoscar, Brent Rooker 296. So our offense is really coming through. Brian Reynolds at the top of the order at 222, not good there, but Corey Ray at 270, that's not bad. You guys can see I ended up signing some guys like Esteban Florial to round out that AAA roster and AA roster as well. So just letting you know there. Oh, Daz Cameron ended up not getting signed by anybody, so he's down to AAA. And Riley Green at 167, so maybe it was the right call to make sure that he was staying down there in AAA. 310 for Mookie Betts, 298 for Jorge, 133 and 364 for Santos and McKenna. So there is your update at the major league level. Well, organizational level, I should say. But we're 11-6 right now, and I can't believe that we're like losing games to the Royals. They're 3-12 currently. We're 1.5 games back from the Minnesota Twins. So let's keep on going, guys. There's no harm, no foul, and keeping on going. So we've got a sweep over the Royals. I love to see it. We got a series win against New York, and guys, look at our team. We're 21-11. Yeah, baby. Look at that. We're in sole possession of first place. Obviously, a lot of that can change with a game and a half up on Minnesota. And Minnesota is actually one of the best teams in all the major leagues. You guys can see it here. Actually, they're 18th ranked. They're 18th ranked. I don't like that. I don't like that. When we look at their roster real quick, they're a really good team. Really good team. And I'll show you guys that in just a second. But look at, we're right up there with the Yankees. They're 7th overall in rank, but we beat them. We beat them in a nice little 4-game series there. But look at the teams out here. Diamondbacks 20-10, Cardinals 20-10, Marlins 19-13, Angels at 21-8 in the American League wild card. Oh my God, the Astros 23-6. Oh, holy cow! The offense, guys, 186 and 187 runs scored for Astros and Angels. Tigers 150. So we're kind of in the middle of the pack here in the American League Central. Twins at 156, but still very good offense nonetheless for our team. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed with where we're at. I think we're going to be solid. But let's take a look at the Twins here real quick, because I do want to show you guys their roster. Something to worry about this season again. Taillon, Sano, Rogers, Ray, Gallo, Manaya, Rosario, Arias, Garver. Like, this team has no let up. There's no let up on this roster. But we're pretty good too. All right, let's keep going. We're 21-11. Let's go all the way till after this Boston series. We're at Boston here. Again, we're going to be doing the whole entire season simulation of 2024. Got a little bit of a losing streak here. I don't like to see that. We're losing some ground, guys. And we get swept in Boston. So we've managed to go 23-23. Just when we were singing the praises. So we've got some work to do. Let's go ahead and simulate until the end of May. Did not have a very good month of May by any means, but we're starting to pick it up here a little bit, trying to reverse course, right? We're 31-27 to start June, and we've made it all the way back to 3rd place, although that lost ground is really going to hurt us, guys. Cleveland moved all the way up to 38-20, so they're having a really, really nice season. Josiah Gray, look at that update. 189 over 33 1/3 innings. Tanner Huck, nice. 319. Garrett McMillan, 355. Nice. Carlos Santos, 323. Down at the AAA level. Or maybe AA. We'll see. I forget where he's at. But guys, look at Mookie Betts, 262. I want to see a little more production out of Mookie. Chris Sale, still doing well. 96 Ks, 351. Jake Rogers all the way up to 16 home runs. So kind of tailed off there at the home run production. Kind of expected that, right? He started off the first 17 games with 8 home runs, but he was kind of the story of the spring. But 16 home runs, that ain't bad either. I mean, we're not even halfway through the season, so he's still got a long way to go. Casey Mize, 444. take that. Forwards across the board. Mike Clevenger at a 5.8. So he's kind of been the issue for us as far as pitching staff goes. Scooble, 3.2. I'm interested. I haven't seen Fulmer here on this list, so we'll see where he's at. But look at Tommy Edman, now at 280, down in that 9-hole, 269 for Teoscar. Pena, we knew this was going to happen. We knew that the decline was coming, but Pena might be the X factor in this lineup. Pena might be the X factor. If when he gets hot, when he gets going, this offense kind of takes off a little bit. So we need more production out of that number 1 hole. Jordan Blazovic, 3.19, solid. Castillo, solid out of the bullpen. I want to see a little more, though. 4.19, I don't like it, but the walk totals, that's good. 29 and 9, I will take that. Bonifacio, 3.29, so still swinging a hot bat. 3.86, 7 innings. 7 freaking innings for Kenyan Middleton. I need to figure that out. I need to get him more innings and more high leverage situations, but Rucker at 3.25, Candelario 2.51, Del Villar still kind of struggling there, 4.7. Corey Ray not getting a lot of work here, but hitting 2.35. Chadwick Trump is a backup, 1.82. And Bobby Dahlbeck, 2.79. Paredes at 2.67. So we can see that Paredes is getting the majority of the at-bats, 161 to 86. Similar production all the way across the board, although Dahlbeck has more steals, which is kind of surprising that, we're trying to get him to run a little bit more. Paredes is a little faster. And but they have the same stealing rating at 33, so interesting. But DJ Peters has not seen a single at-bat. He hasn't seen a single at-bat. I mean, I can't fix what the CPU is going to do in that regard, right? Maybe if I put him into the lineup, which, why would I do that? Because we've got other players that are better in that regard, so we're just going to leave it alone. We're going to leave it alone. Sorry, DJ, if you don't get a single at-bat in your entire season in 2024, I apologize. He didn't get a single at-bat up at the big league level in 2023 either. So, yeah, that's something to watch out for. But Uliman at 3.83, Santos 2.97 down at the Double-A level. David Young 2.96, Chang pitched well at AAA, Castro 2.66. Jose Garcia 263. So obviously really nice production all the way across the board from an organizational level. Although again, I think that Paredes, Dahlbeck, Pena, those guys are kind of the X factors in this lineup. Again, I do want to see more production out of Brian Reynolds though. Brian Reynolds, got to get it going at the top of the order. Everybody else is doing their part. You got to do a little bit extra. All right, so we're in June, guys, 31 and 27. Let's move all the way down. I'm going to just simulate till the end of June. How about that? So we'll see how this whole thing pans out here. But, it's the first-year player draft. We're going to go ahead and simulate this. We've had some really good drafts in the past few seasons for this team, and I don't want to cheese the system. So I'm going to simulate this, leave things up to chance, leave things up to the universe to determine, how that's going to play out. But let's see. We had a nice June. If I total this up, we had what? We had 4, little quadrant here, 4 losses, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 losses in June. 12 losses in June. How many off days? 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 and 12. We played 500 baseball, 44 and 39. Still 7.5 games back. We just did not gain any ground. So 44 and 39. And let's go all the way up until the All-Star break. See how things perform here. And really nice winning streak there to pick things up. Had one little loss. One little measly little loss there against LA. Let's see what we got here with the Home Run Derby, if we have anybody representing us, and we don't. But there's a lot of power here. A lot of power. Harper, Alvarez, Trout, Sano, Keston. My God, he's in this? 28 home runs? What is that? What is that? Let's go ahead and simulate that. All right, All-Star game. Let's see. Let's see who made it. Did anybody make it from the Tigers? I'm interested. Nobody? Oh, Joe Jimenez. Joe Jimenez did. He's got a 2.65 with 36 saves. He's got 30. Look at this production. He has 36 saves at the break. Holy crap. He's already matched. He's already going to match his career high in saves at 45 last season. So we're playing in a lot of close games. Mookie Betts has made the All-Star game. 21 home runs. Look at that production, guys. 56 ribbies. He's on his way for like 40 some odd home runs. 14 stolen bases, already reaching his total from last season. He's having an MVP caliber season, in my opinion, at 298. Let's see down here just a little bit further. Adley Rutschman, nice. So he's coming through. Who's he playing for now? Playing for Seattle. I remember that. I think he was like a Rule 5 guy. Interesting. And nobody else. So only one Detroit Tiger. Mookie Betts making the American League All-Star team. We are 54-43. Still 8.5 games back. So we've got a lot of work to do still. Let's take a look at the standings here real quick. See where we're at as far as the rest of the American League goes. We are still looking at like a wild card team. So we got the Twins, the Athletics, and the Astros ahead of us. Looks like the Astros are an absolute lock. We are 7 games back from them as far as a wild card number 1 spot goes. So we're looking again, just like last season, as the wild card number 2 team. So we got some ground to make up against the Twins and the Athletics for sure. So let's go ahead and move forward. So the American League beats up on the National League 14-5. And as we see, we get a win here against Baltimore, moving to 55-43. As you guys know, we are coming up here on the trade deadline on the 31st. So I'm going to go all the way up until the 30th to see where we're at, who's performing well, what are some things that we need in order to make a push. So today is the trading deadline. So look at, we're 61-46. This is where the Houston Astros were when we started the All-Star game. That's how far away that we are, guys. We're 9 games back now from Cleveland and 9 games back. What? Oh, wait. Yeah, the Twins and Tigers still have the same record. So 61-46. So we made some ground up on the Twins. But as far as catching the Indians, they have to have a major meltdown in order for that to happen. So let's take a look at those standings real quick. We are actually in the wild card number 2 spot, but it's not over by any means. Look at game and a half, or half a game, I should say. Half a game. Athletics are back from the Tigers. Red Sox 2.5. So it's going to be a wild race, and we're 7-3 in our last 10. Still scoring a ton of runs at 497, but not as much as the Red Sox or the Twins. Look at the Twins, 576. We knew that offense was really good this season. Astros, same thing, 575. And I'm curious, Angels at 644. They've scored 644 runs. That offense is legit. Woo! All right, so since today's the trading deadline, there's some things that we got to fix up. Josiah Gray having a stellar June, 3.5 with 42 strikeouts. Chet Burnett, one of our draft picks. Estevan Florio, 333. And Santiago Espinal. Doing really well. Guys, let's get it done. Right here, right now. 286 for Brian Reynolds. He was going to be my guy. I was going to pick on Brian Reynolds. But he's been picking it up here as the heat, as the weather has come up and gotten a little warmer, right? So the ball's carrying a little bit more for him. 13 home runs, 286. Mize at 4.5. Sale at 3.6. So our pitching staff seems to still be doing pretty solid here. I'm interested again in Michael Fulmer. He's getting hot at the right time, though. But a 5.85, I don't like that. I don't like 5.85. I think it's time to address some positions like Mike Clevenger carrying a 6.56 ERA. 6.56 ERA. The strikeouts to walks I can deal with, but that ERA and that whip is so bad. It's so bad. He's 4-10. And I think that when you look at the rest of the pitching staff, he's the reason why. He's the reason why. He's given us 10 losses in the season. Now, whether or not that's bullpen, giving up the hit, giving up the runs accredited to Clevenger or not, well, that's part of the deal. But look at everybody else has a winning record except for Mike Clevenger, right? So I think either one or two things that we can do here. We can push Mike Clevenger, even though we're paying him a ton of money, $17 million. We can push him to the bullpen. We can push him to work on a few things. We can keep Balazovic at bullpen as well. We can push David Castillo into becoming the starter or a starter. He's an 85. He is a starter by trade, and he's a pretty good one at that. We could do that. That's a move that we can make internally. Or we could trade Mike Clevenger and get an extra offensive bat for us. That's really going to help us, right? So we could do a lot of things. We could do a lot of things with that type of move. And to be honest with you, when I look at this team, I look at this roster, it's like, what else do we need, right? I mean, guys have been we've been loyal to certain players. We've treated people with respect, right? We've treated like as if these guys had feelings. We've treated them with respect. DJ Peters, though, 4 at-bats. We haven't treated him with much respect, but it's the time now in this series where we need to make a pretty significant move. And last season we traded JD Martinez for Mookie Betts, so that was a winning type of move. That was a move that we were willing to make to get us over the top, which I think that it did. It really helped us out defensively. It helped us. We basically traded a DH for an everyday player, so that really helped us out. But looking at this roster, Candelario is up to a 85 overall, and I'm looking at some of these numbers, and maybe you guys are on the board with me that sometimes these numbers don't mean anything. The overall numbers don't really mean anything. I mean, you want to get better in certain areas. Like, look at the power numbers for Candelario. He's got 12 home runs, but we could do better. We could find something better, more substantial than 67 and 49 power. Second base, yeah. Tommy Edmonds an 86, but could we do better? For sure, we could definitely do better. So I'm on the market. I'm looking at guys right here because we need to get a dub. We need to get a World Series victory, guys. Is it something realistic that this team would do with this type of roster? Of course it is. Of course it is. When we look again at this roster, is first base a position that you would want to think about making a change? You could. Looking at the overall rating, I mean, nobody would think that. 85 overall player, you're just lucky to have that guy. But when you're looking at Major League production and you're thinking, like, we need to make moves to push us over the top, first base, second base, third base, these are moves that a team would make in order to get an elite type of caliber player to push us over. And that infield, is a position that I'm eyeing. But shortstop, 87, you can't get much better defensively than Jeremy Pena, so that's where kind of he is safe. Teoscar, hitting well at 284 in the outfield, provides a lot of power. Reynolds, that leadoff and that speed, like, he's been good defensively too. And Mookie Betts, I feel like our outfield is safe. It's the infield aside from shortstop that I'm a little worried about. Plus, the pitching rotation with Clevenger at a 6.56. Right, that's just not going to cut it. So I think I figured out why Kenyan Middleton isn't getting a lot of love here. He's in the setup role. We got 2 setup guys, right? So I'm going to push him up to middle relief and get him some more action here. So maybe Faedo can be another setup guy. So we got a lefty and righty. We can kind of push that 72 overall player into a position with less leverage. Let's go find a trade. Let's see what we can do here. And I'm going to be honest with you guys right now. I don't see much that's actually going to help us with trading Mike Clevenger away. I really don't. I mean, you got this trade here, Eduardo Escobar and John Barrebia. I don't see it there. Cam Bedrosian might be a good fit, but then we're getting Yasiel Puig, a guy that we don't really need in that outfield. These aren't bad offers by any means. There's just they don't really fit with what we're trying to do. We could get Aroldis Chapman in the bullpen, like that would help out a little bit. This trade would help, but again, the big piece here would be Liam Hendricks, and you're not trading Mike Clevenger for Liam Hendricks. Tommy Pham would be a nice get out in left field, but again, our outfield is already stacked as it is. This trade, Jacob Barnes at 86, that would help. Plus, we get another outfielder, a young guy, Cam Williams, and then Alex Wood as a lefty starter. But he's an 80 right now. He's kind of decreases on the decline a little bit. That trade would help, but then we're also helping the Angels get a little bit better there too. So I don't see anything here. So I'm going to try to work some things. That was using Trade Finder for Clevenger, so I'm going to try to work some things and see if I can't find something myself. This is a move that I feel like can put our offense over the top. So let's go ahead and simulate all the way into the end of August and see how this whole thing pans out. And by the way, I do need to switch over David Castillo. So yes, he's in the lineup there as our 5th starter. And hopefully that this all works out. I think that if it does, I think that we made a really slick and sly move. So let's see how we're panning out here. We're winning a bunch of games against the White Sox, but against Cleveland we dropped all 3 games, and we're going to need to win and win often here towards the end of August and early September for sure, because it's going to be a tight American League race. We're 78-57, and right now that gives us sole possession of 2nd place. We're about 3 games ahead of the Minnesota Twins. Taking a look at the standings here really quick. We're not winning the AL Central again. We're just, that's not going to happen. At 85-50, the Indians have that locked down, but we are 3 games ahead of the Twins and 4.5 over the A's. So that trade looks like it really helped us. Looks like it really helped us. And I want to see what our lineup is doing here. Brian Reynolds up to 300 batting average now. Candelario still hitting well at 279. Betts at 28 home runs with 308. Suarez up to 250. I don't remember where he was at when we acquired him. I think he was like 261. So maybe we want to, I think we should keep him there at that number 4 spot with that 95 power against lefties and 82 power. I think that that's a good spot for him. Maybe if things get hairy and sticky, maybe we might move and swap Teoscar Hernandez and Suarez. But Rucker at DH right now hitting 289, so he's performing. And Jake Rogers really fallen off this season towards the latter half, so 239 there, but 252 for Pena, 241 for Edman. Dahlbeck is doing pretty well in the DH role against lefties, hitting 287 and 14 home runs. Corey at 287, Bonifacio 286. Getting the start against lefties, I believe. Chadwick Trump 225, Paredes 267. So again, Paredes kind of getting a little bit screwed here, but like I said, we're in the win now type of mode. So you know what? We hung our hat on him for a little while. Wasn't really cutting it, so we had to make a move, and that was the one position I felt like we could make a move to get better. David Castillo, I'm interested here. So he has brought that ERA down, and he's winning us some games. He's 8-6 now, is 117 whip, 375. Fomer struggle busting a little bit here at 5.3. Skubal, nice ERA at 3.77. Mize, I feel like Mize is just going to give us that 3.8, 4.2 consistently. So kind of disappointed in that as an 89 overall pitcher, but you can't go wrong here with the win-loss record at 12-7. Yeah, we don't have any negatives in the win-loss record, which is a good spot to be. Kenyan Middleton getting a little bit more run, and he's proving valuable here at a 3.77 in 31 innings. So I'd like to see that. Ray Del Villar at 30 2/3. Faedo at 30 2/3. So remember, we swapped him. Faedo was in the middle relief spot, eating up all the innings that Middleton should have been getting. So I like where we're at. Again, we're only 3 games up on the Twins. We're only 3 games up on the Twins, and luckily, we don't get the Twins. And that's kind of a double-edged sword. Either that's a good thing or it's a bad thing. Obviously, when you're playing against each other, you can make up a lot of ground. You can swing it, but then again, double-edged sword. losses really hurt you. So let's go ahead and simulate till the middle part of September towards this Kansas City series at home. So yeah, so now we're starting to drop a few games here. That's not good. That's really not good. I'm getting a little bit nervous here. So luckily we ripped off a nice winning streak there against the White Sox, had one win against the Oakland Athletics, and at 85-64, now the Twins have caught us. So now we're 2 games back from the Twinkies. Yes, there you go. So 2 games back from the Twins. So we need to win a lot more games here in the clutch. So let's simulate all the way up for this Kansas City series and Texas, and boom, baby, let's go. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ripped 7 games off as W's, and we came at them in style, baby. 12-5, 13-0. David Castillo gets that W, guys. Wow, he shut him out. I'd love to see that. Reynolds hitting third, 5 for 6. And Suarez 4 for 5. I love that offense, guys. Love that offense. I'm actually interested in seeing what Castillo did here. 9 innings, 8 Ks, 2 hits. Let's go. David Castillo has been clutch for this pitching staff, guys. So now we move to the last week. The last 8 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. My bad. 7 days left, and we are 2 games up on the Twins. Standings. Game and a half. Excuse me. I'm doing the math here, but game and a half up on the Twins, and we might catch the Indians. Right? We would need to win every game. Right? We're 5 games back. There's 6 games left. We would need to win every game, and they would need to lose every game in order to catch them by a game. So I'm going to go at this because we're only 2 games up on the Twins. We're only 2 games up. I'm going to go at this game by game. It's a really, really crucial spot for us because Cleveland's the best team in American League Central. The Twins, on the other hand, they get Kansas City. They get 62-39 Kansas City for a 4-game set. That is not good. That does not set up well for us. So I'm going to go at this game by game and see how we fare here. All right, here we go, guys. Ready? Loss. Win. Now, 93-66. What did the Twins do? 93-66. Oh, God. So they won their series 3-1, and we lost our series 2-1. We are now tied with 3 games left to go. White Sox, and we get Baltimore. This is going to come down to the wire, guys. The absolute wire. I think personally this is a good place to stop because I feel like I can live stream this and we can get a little more interaction with this series. Remember, hey, look though, we got 3 games left, right? We got 3 games left. The Astros have gone 5-5 in their last 10, allowing the Tigers and the Twins to catch them. So, with 3 games left to go, the Astros could theoretically lose all 3 games. The Twins and Tigers could win all 3 games and go 96, have 96 wins, and the Astros at 95, meaning that Twins and Tigers would both go as wildcard teams. Either way, I think this is again setting up for another 1-game playoff, and it's just a 3-team race right now. Athletics are out. They're not being caught. They're not going to catch anybody is what I mean. But then the Indians are definitely not being caught. They've clinched the division at 99-60. So I think this is a good place to stop right here. And I said that I wanted to do the entire season, but I feel like we could really enjoy this last stretch of games here all together in order to get to the postseason. So guys, leave a like if you like this thing. I will see you in a live stream here next week for Detroit Tigers True Rebuild. We're going to try to make the playoffs here again for the 2nd season in a row. hopefully that move, Clevenger for Suarez, is going to pan out. And I'm actually interested to see how Clevenger was doing out in Cincinnati. All right, so he's on a little bit of a hot streak here. Got the ERA down a little bit, but 218 strikeouts, that's hard to replace, man. That's hard to replace, but 84 walks. He's thrown up there with Castillo type of numbers at 99, but Clevenger 6-12, like he just wasn't cutting it for us. And I think though that the earned run average for him was really hurting us. So I think we made the right move with Castillo coming into the starting role here. 4.01 ERA, taking on former Detroit Tigers Spencer Turnbull, the 60-99 Baltimore Orioles. We've got a 3-game set with them. Chris Sale against Eduardo Rodriguez. I like that matchup. 2 lefties, and then Mize against John Means. I think we're going to do it, guys. I think we're going to make the playoffs, but we'll find out in a live stream next week. Guys, leave a like if you like this thing. I'll see you in the next one. As always, go Tigers, and peace.